PR Connections Radio presents.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Evelyn's Roundtable. This podcast highlights a host of relevant topics. Our conversations share voices of women of color, Black women veterans and veterans, allies, candidates, and elected officials, entrepreneurs, teachers, students, and others. We also explore important issues and challenges such as grassroots leadership, job training, homelessness, and mental health advocacy, accountability, male inclusion, and civics. Our mission statement is to empower all women. Do you hear me? All women to hold hands as we rise. Well, hello there. Hello, everyone that is watching us or listening to us. And thank you for being on here. And this is really going to be a good topic. I want to introduce everybody to Patrick Villa, who is running for the regent, which is very important. Little does everybody know. People kind of like forget about the regent part of it. They think about the schooling and the committee, the board, but they forget that this part is really big because this is higher education, right? And all that. So it's very important in what we do. And it's hard to fix it, but I think Patrick's going to give it a good try when he wins. So can you please just give us a little not a backing, but, tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate that. Glad to be here. About myself, I have been teaching. I'm a mathematics professor at CSN right now. I have been teaching since 1998 in the college level. So I'm doing my 22nd, 23rd year right now. I've been at, my 27th, 28th year. I've been at CSN for 22 years, and I'll be starting my 23rd year this year. And that's how long I've been in Las Vegas. So I've been here, I'm not a native, but I've been here a very long time. So I know how things work. I've had a lot of interactions with the board, a lot of things up and down the state with higher ed. And, I think we're doing some good things, but I think there's always room for improvement. And I'm hoping I can bring some fresh perspective to everything and make it even better for all of our students and their families here in Nevada.
Yeah, and you're correct. I hear that sometimes, you're not from here, you weren't born here. But however, we are here to help, to improve, and to give, right? And I believe when all of those are involved, all of that I just mentioned that's involved, it shouldn't no longer be about you grew up here, you're raised here, because you are coming here to help. You're not taking from the community. You're giving. In math, oh my gosh. Did everybody hear that part about the math part? I mean, that's huge, because with the Nevada Women in Trades, the program that I have, it's really about math, and we are helping the women to pass the math tests that the unions are giving to even get into the apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that you don't pass that math test, you don't get an interview. And that's really deep. And I know these women are not going to like what I'm getting ready to say, but I'm going to say it anyways. Women are not very well in that subject, and not because we're not smart. That's not what I'm saying, everybody. I'm saying because it's not what we're told to do. It's not something that is like, hey, make sure you know your reading comprehension and math.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
what's going on with us females. Even with me coming out of the military and everything, they in my background is mechanical work, but when I went to go to college, they signed me up as administration and a secretary.
Yeah. Push you somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't that, I
unfortunate.
mean,
Very unfortunate.
yes, and it's been happening for years. This is not new, everybody. This has
I
been
know.
going on for years. So it's really nice to hear that you're teaching math, which is very hard subject. And when I do my little things for the kiddos, I always tell them how important it is. The teachers are important because y'all don't make no money. And let everybody know that part. So you're definitely not doing it for the money because y'all ain't making no
Yeah.
money at all. But you do it because of you. That's that purpose. That's and you know that is really going to help in the area that you're teaching, especially math. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So my hat goes off to you because I'm gonna tell you, it's a hard subject, right? And even with the math with the apprenticeship, it's only seventh grade math. But because everybody's like, oh, I can do that math in seventh grade. No, y'all, it's construction math, which
Yeah.
means adding, subtracting, um, decimals, ratios, fractions. That's a whole different ball game right there.
Yeah. And if you
You
haven't
know,
done it in a few years, it's like a foreign language. You lose it. You know, if you haven't done it since seventh grade, you forget it. It's if you don't practice it every day, it's tough. It
it
really
is,
is.
and thank you for saying that because that's a scenario I always use with it. It's like a language. If you don't
It
use it,
is.
it goes away. It doesn't. And but everybody I mean, every time, oh yeah, I got this, and I just sit back and I'm like, okay, you know,
Yeah.
you got it, but I know better. So I would like to talk about college students too,
Sure.
because you are running for regent. That is like the big area that you'll be in, right? The is more
Definitely.
the college level, right? And can you
Yep.
explain to everybody what a regent, what they do?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking. Because every time I go to an event, I always start with that. I ask the audience, who knows who your regent is? And hardly anybody knows their own regent. Then I'll just ask the general question, do you know what a regent does? And a couple do. Usually it's people who've been at
Mhm.
every event with me, so they've heard me give the spiel. But you started and alluded to it. It's like we all know the CCSD trustees, who run their boss of the superintendent. They control CCSD. The Board of Regents is exactly the same thing. We have all the colleges, the 8 of them are presidents of each one. They report to the chancellor, who's like the superintendent, and the chancellor reports to the board, who's elected by all the citizens of Nevada. So if I get on, it's a 13-member board, and they make all the decisions of everything for all the community colleges, universities, Nevada State. They are the ones who do everything and decide and guide them and figure out where they're going in the future.
Yeah, it's really a big task. I mean, I when I got here, I took political science and I loved it. I loved it. Political science is probably
Nice.
why I'm doing what I'm doing. Um,
Sure.
but it's also through the years I done seen the struggles of college students when it comes to getting an apartment, when it comes to affordability, when it
Yeah.
comes to finding a job, a part-time job, and most of them have a full boat. And everybody don't know what a full boat is. That means you got what 15 credits. That's a lot.
Mhm.
It don't sound like a lot, everybody, but it's a lot. It's a lot,
Yeah.
especially if you have to again have to work, if you have
Mhm.
family that you have to deal with and take care of, and then I mean you time to study. I mean it's a lot.
It
It's a
is.
lot, and I was just like wondering why. Maybe you can answer this, but why is it so hard for the college students to find a part-time job? Why is that?
It kind of depends on where you are and what the situation is. At say UNLV and UNR, where people live on campus, it's a non-commuter. Those are non-commuter schools, I'll call them, and even NSU to an extent. There's a good number of positions throughout there. My daughter goes to UNR, and she's able to gotten a handful of jobs. It's they're part-time jobs. They're not necessarily going to help you pay all your bills and do everything, and that's where it does become tough. It's even more tough though at CSN and other community colleges, because there's not nearly as many student opportunities on those campuses, so they have to look outside. And again, let's assume everyone's going to get a minimum wage job. Our fees, CSN has reasonable fees. The universities are a little more. But as you might know, everybody, the fees went up, were voted up by the board last spring. So that's rising. Expenses in the world are rising. So it is tough, even though minimum wage has gone up over the years, it is tough to make ends meet here. And, no one wants to see everyone go into debt and all that to get their education. And it's tough. You work in there, people who have families, people who have other commitments. And I always laugh. When I was a student, there's always one or two in your class who they're just giving their all, and they're just so great. And I'm like, you're taking one class. You could put all your energy into one class. As you mentioned, I'm taking 5 classes. That means I only got 20% of my time for each class. And it always does seem that all your projects, all your exams all seem to hit around the same time in week 5, or week 9, or whatever the case. And it does get overwhelming. And that's the sad part. It's tough for students, especially first timers. Many of the colleges in Nevada and around the country, at least, they're trying to make that, the first year experience, or these, I don't want to say orientation, but they're trying to help students understand how to balance life and work and college, and understand what it is to be a student. Because when I went to college, it was just, here you go sign up for a class, have fun. Here's a catalog, and we all seemed to figure it out. There weren't as many options. It wasn't as complicated life back then, But I think the colleges are doing a good job in Nevada. They could do better, but they're doing a good job of pushing people, helping guide them as much as possible. And it's tough because students are at all different levels. The ones who haven't been to school in 20 years, they're going to need a different kind of assistance than the 18-year-old who just graduated high school. And that's the challenge of us on our side, is we gotta do something that's going to work for everybody, help everybody out equally, or at least give everyone that boost as much as we can.
Yes, and I'm hoping when you become regent that you will get in there and fix some of it. I mean, I don't know how much you can fix, like you just said, right? I mean, there's only so many jobs, there's only so many. And then probably look how people are at UNLV. I mean, all of them are looking for a part-time job. And oh my gosh, and probably in the same area and everything. So that's going to be hard, because there's only so many fast food places, right?
I know.
That you go to work at, and but it does get very difficult. And then too, and then food, to be able to buy groceries. I hear about that too, that they're having a hard time with just buying food and all of that. And then I found out that there's not really like a discount for them on the campus for any lunches or anything else either. And I went, wait a minute now, wait a minute. So I
mean, one good thing I will note is, and I know this firsthand at CSN and up in Nevada, Reno, and UNLV, and I'm sure the others have versions, like the student pantries, where they get donations from grocery stores or Costco, whatever. And I've been in there, and it's a massive room, and students are all are welcome. You don't have to show any kind of need or whatever the case. You come in, they give you a bag, you can go fill it up with certain stuff, and again, that's not always going to feed you every single month of the year, but it does help.
Something's better than you sitting there looking at an empty cup with no water in it.
Exactly.
So how many of the colleges do that? Because I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, like I said, I know for sure UNLV, UNR, and CSN do it just because of my firsthand experience. But I'm fairly, don't quote me on it because I don't know that,
Right.
but I'm pretty sure every college in the state has some sort of a version of a pantry. Like I would bet the pantry at Western Nevada College may not be as big as the one at CSN because we have a ton more
Exactly.
students. But like I said, I've been in there, and it's like just supply, just cans and water bottles and drinks and chips and it's just all kinds of random foods in
Right.
there, and it's really nice, just thinking to myself, I don't need to take it because I can afford it, I have a job, but I know
Right.
many students need it, and I go, this is just awesome, that they have that available, and I think the biggest thing that I would want to promote is expand that, get more donations, because sometimes they get so many donations we have to turn it away, and it's unfortunate too. I really hate that. But I want more awareness because I know not everybody
There you
knows. I mean,
go. Nope.
it seemed news to you. I know it's news to a lot of students when I mention it in my class, and I'm like, how is this word not getting out? Because college students love free stuff, and it's like, why do they not know about it? And I think we just have to get the word out more. I really do, to all the campuses.
No, and I agree with you, but that seems to be a number one thing in Vegas. Nobody knows nothing. Everybody's
I
gatekeeping and
know.
holding it to themselves. And I'm
Yeah,
like, what is
unfortunately.
going
Yeah.
on with that? Even again, I'm gonna bring it back to me because I'm an Army veteran, and didn't even know that I could have filled out a claim for the military. And I'm like, why are we not talking about that? It's the same
Yeah.
scenario, right? I mean,
Yeah.
money's going to help and help you to live better and everything because it's owed to you because you served. Well, then, like you
Hmm.
just said, well, why? Because I didn't hear about the pantry. I have not
Yeah.
heard about
It's
that.
amazing. Yeah. And at that time, we were at an event at the Union at CSN. Remember that a few months ago when I was
Right.
out there? It's literally across the hall is the room for this big old pantry in the Student Union, and
Oh,
it,
wow.
and it's just one of those things where if a student went in there, once they know they're going to go in there a lot, it's just, you got to get that first, like everything, like all information. They just have to hear about it the first time. And that's the tough one. They hear every other bit of news. There's 100 other announcements through emails and on Canvas. And sometimes it's the point where I think people are skipping emails. They're skipping announcements on Canvas because so many come through and they never see it. And I feel like there's got to be tiers or levels, like, even if you got a person standing out in the quad holding a sign up, we've got free food here, that that'll get the message out. And I just don't think we do enough of that. I don't know why.
Yeah, because I don't remember seeing any type of sign across the hall from
Hmm.
where we were at either, though. Now that I'm thinking about
You're
that,
right.
I done been there
Yeah.
in that same room right there, that community room, several times. And I don't
Yeah.
remember seeing nothing that said pantry on there.
I don't know why. Yeah, I agree with you. It
Interesting.
should be with lights and everything, and it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like like the Batman thing, right? Whoop, 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 and wow, I'm
Hmm.
gonna ask about that because that is something. Yeah. So, which I know you have. What's the top two things that you want to do when you get elected for region? Oh, what
You know,
region area are you running for too? Oh, got to
that's a
like
great
ask
question.
that
I'll
part.
start with that. I'm in Regent District 2, which is it's a funny district where it's Rainbow, 15, Rancho, Decatur. It's like a long, skinny one that goes all the way from
Hmm.
Flamingo up to Grand Teton, like way up
Oh,
there. It's only
wow.
about 3, 4 blocks wide, but it's multiple miles tall.
It
Um,
sounds like it,
yeah,
yes.
it's a very weird region, but you know how gerrymandering or cutting it up, somebody randomly cut it up years ago. Who knows how it got there, but it is. Um,
Okay,
but
we're gonna leave
uh,
gerrymandering alone right now too, because that's a whole nother
yeah,
topic that
I
we
know
can
it is.
talk
We could go all
about.
day on that one. Um, the my main priority is I want to bring some efficiencies, some practicality, some common sense to the board. And I don't say that as in they're not doing that right now, because we've got some great board members. They're very smart. They're great business people. I feel sometimes, though, there's a disconnect of how education is. And you know, education is a huge beast here in Nevada. It's huge and it's established. And sometimes people come in and think, well, we're going to change it. And you can't. It's a slow changing process. We're like a huge cruise ship. We can't just turn on a dime. We have to make slow changes. And I want to just bring some, like I said, efficiency. So many times I'm at board meetings where, you know, they're not asking the right questions. I want to just yell from the audience, they mean this. This is what they're asking, you know, but I'm out of order. I can't say that. And I feel like I need to bring some of that. I also am in efficiency. I'm very big on not wasting time, not wasting money. And, you know, we give a lot of money to the state, the coffers that we take in from fees and tuitions at the colleges, and then it's brought back and redistributed. I know a lot of legislators it's not the sexy funding, you know, you know, it doesn't get headlines, it doesn't get clicks. And they're all in favor of it, but they don't always vote. They don't always do, you know, give us more money. And I'll admit, sometimes there's been some wasteful spending at higher ed in Nevada. And I'm the kind of person where I think we don't need more money right now. We need to prove to the state and the citizens that we're doing good with our money, that we're spending it and we're not wasting it. We don't have redundancies. And I just think there needs to be efficiencies and literally some audits. And people don't like me saying that, but there's a lot of places I think that we are double staffed. And I'm not saying fire anybody, but maybe when someone leaves, we don't need to replace that person immediately because we've got enough. You know, we have a lot of heavy salaries with our administrators on these different campuses. And, you know, everyone talks about, oh, teachers, you know, you mentioned teachers don't make all this money, but sometimes you'll hear people say, well, all these college professors are getting all this money. And I laugh and I go, do you know how many people are random associate vice presidents making twice as much as all of us? And there is tons of them, you know, around. And I'm not saying they're not important, but if I'm going to be at the point of cutting, if I have a vote like we had at the board a few months ago, where we have to raise tuition across the board, my vote's no, not because we might have to, but I still want to exhaust all the, you know, opportunities. Is there some more cuts? Can we cut some of these things that we added when we were fruitful, when we were doing well? Now we're not doing so well financially. Maybe we need to put that on pause for a while, because I don't want to say, hey, students, we're going to raise your rates because I want to keep these pet projects over here when things are doing good. And I'm, you know, it's one of those things where I think there just needs to be some serious looking at it. And one of the things I've noticed mathematically is, you know, as we make more money, you know, as the state takes in more money, or we're doing good. I'm talking about the universities, the colleges. Then they start adding programs. You know, we have high enrollment. We're getting good tuition. We're getting good funding. Let's add these new programs. And I'll say, well, yeah, we're doing well. This is going to be good for us. But when we start losing money, in my mind, it should be almost like a last in, first out. Okay, those we added those, they got to go. But what they do is they say, nope, let's cut across the board. And operating budgets get cut, departments get cut. And it's like, so basically we're subsidizing these new pet projects. And like I said, I'm not saying they're bad, but they came when times were good, and maybe we just need to wait a little bit. There needs to be some honest speaking about, hey, I'm sorry, this needs to wait. This is fluff. This is frosting. And that's the kind of stuff I want to bring in there of, let's ask the questions. Let's make those high-end salary people earn their salary. And it's like, you people need to go figure out, there needs to be some cuts now. None of this across the board. So, because that's the easy solution, you know, because then nobody can point a finger. Nobody gets mad at you because I'm just doing what I was told. No, it really should be, you're the president, you're the vice presidents, whatever. You need to decide, not go cut across the board. Because I just think that's the easy way out. And that does not make our life better. Doesn't make anything more efficient for the colleges.
No, and it doesn't. And you are so correct with what you just said, because that's exactly what happens. These programs, oh, let's add this, oh, let's do this. And then now, we're not doing this right, or this is not this. And now you're looking into, and even what, 25% is going to be the cutting for CCSD that's coming up, right?
Yeah,
It's getting ready to happen, or it already happened, but it was really getting ready. We get ready to see it because when the kids go back to school on Monday and everything, we're going to see what is going on and what's not. And you're right. They didn't do the last out thing. They just went, oh, get this one and get that one. They're not even doing the last person that got hired. They're just saying, oh, let's just do this. And I'm thinking,
everybody.
No, because that's how it's supposed to work, right? I mean, if you're last in, you're first out. I mean, that's how it's been working, right? But no, you keep that because that's your buddy or that's your whatever. And there's a lot of that going on too. Oh, that's my buddy, and oh, that's my nephew, or that's my, and they don't know crap about what they're doing, but you're gonna keep that person because that's the buddy.
Everybody takes a cut.
Right. Instead of saying, hey, maybe we need to cut their hours, or maybe, but that's Vegas, right? That's Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, it's really about who you know here. And I tell people that all the time. It's not, you can have a resume that looks like whoop de whoop, right?
Yeah.
But
it doesn't matter.
That buddy come in there, you're out. It doesn't even matter. But you might be better educated, more experienced, but and then everything gets crapped. Because you don't let that buddy in there that's done messed up everything or not paid attention to what we need to be doing, or even things that we need to be lifted in that area. And it's really messed up that it works like that here.
Yep. And it's honestly, it is a Vegas thing, but it is a higher ed thing. They do this everywhere. And it just, like I said, we had a new program because we have money, and it comes with a vice president who makes $160,000, and then we got to cut. To me, that person's got to go. Their program's got to get stalled. But instead, everybody gets cut $200 off their salary, and we're allowed to keep the vice president. Who also takes a $200 cut, or whatever the case. And it's like, it shouldn't be that way, because when money goes up, no one's giving us $200 extra.
No.
It's let's go get specialized things. And it's too much of that I've seen. I've been here, like I said, 22 years. I've seen good, but I've seen a lot of just inefficiencies that I think someone just has to come in and say, look, let's start looking more deep at this instead of these blanket fixes. Let's cut the cancer out of the body, not just keep, cutting the whole body.
Yeah, and you don't have to answer this one, but I've noticed something else too, that once you're assembly or a senator and you or a governor or whatever, all of a sudden when you are no longer any of those, legislative things, and all of a sudden you're working at CSN with a big salary, and I'm like, no, wait a minute now. How did this person go from being an elected official? Now they're running the top-notch area at CSN or UNLVs or UNR or Nevada. I'm like, no, wait a minute. Why did they do that to begin with? Right? Why did they run for that position? Because they wouldn't have got it. They wouldn't have got that position. And the only reason, and I'm like, but, and it's like, okay, that's what they need to do. But make sure they know their job. Right? You put them in there, they don't know their job. They're doing all kinds of craziness, and things are not right, and oh my gosh, money you're doing stuff with, but that's bad.
One of the big problems is when they create a new position for somebody, or they create a new position, and whoever gets it, it's when not only do they not know what their job is, but the supervisor, the other coworkers, when no one knows what's going on, that's when it gets to be troublesome. Because like now, not only do you not know, but that's acceptable if you don't know what your job is when you get hired.
Right.
You don't know every nuance. But if no one's there to fix it or correct you, here's what happens. They just start making up their job, or they start doing nothing. Yep. And either way, it's a problem, and there needs to be more of that, more oversight, more clarity,
Oversight.
you know? Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We could talk forever on here. I told you 30 minutes goes really fast when you're
I
really
know.
talking about something that's very important. So in your last few minutes here, could you give everybody your website, how they can help? Volunteer, everybody. He needs volunteers.
Definitely.
He needs donations. He needs y'all to show up and support him. So can you give us that information?
Yeah. Thank you for that. I need all of those, but everything's available on my website. It's villafornevada.com, and it's FOR. So Villa, FOR, Nevada.com. And all my, Twitter, Facebook links are on there. There's a place to donate if you want to donate some money. I need people, though, to volunteer. Make calls for me, make texts for me, come out with me when we go door knocking. Just any little things I need. I mean, you may not realize this. I'm a first-time candidate. I've never done this in my life. I'm learning a lot as I do this. It's really fun, but there's a lot of things that if I could do this again, I would have done things a little differently because I've learned as I went. But I need any kind of help. Even if somebody can say, I'll call 5 people for you, that's 5 more people that we can get the word out to. And any little thing, everything helps. So I'm open for anything. So villafornevada.com.
And who are you running against?
Jennifer McGrath. She was, the position used to be Lois Tarkanian's position for many years. And she did awesome. And then she passed away last year. And then the way the process works, the governor appoints someone. They appointed McGrath to finish out her term. And then now it happens to be up for election. So there's 4 of us running, and then her and I are the top 2 who will face each other in November.
Well, you done heard it, and you done heard it from Evelyn's Roundtable. Please support him. Like he said, even making some phone calls, door knocking, and sponsoring. We need some of that too. But please support him, everyone. Great candidate. I love this conversation we've had, and again, however we can support you, we will help you, right? We'll be here and support you, and I'm glad you're on.
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate all the whole conversations we had. We got a little deep there, but that's where you got to go if you're going to be real about what you're running for, and real. And this is for the people, by the people, everybody. This is about the people. This is not about other things. This is about the people.
Yes.
And this is about the college students too, that we all need to be looking at a little bit more deeper and helping and supporting everybody. It's really hard to be able to grants to pay for all of this, and like you just said, it just went up. The credits just went up, and I don't understand that either, why that went up, because as my great grandmother said, you can't get blood out of a turnip.
Yeah. No kidding. So accurate.
Yeah. So everybody, I'm going to end with my mission statement that I always say at the end. And but before I do that, make sure you guys go on my website, www.nevada, spelled out, WIT.org. And also we're interviewing right now, everybody, for the pipeline program that we're going to have in October. And please go on there and check out. We got another week and a half left of interviewing everybody, but please come and check out the website, and please help Patrick to win this nomination that he needs to be winning. And again, the mission statement is to hold hands as we rise. And thank everybody for being on here.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.